My name is Timothy Marthand. I am from Hyderabad, born and brought up here, and I grew up in a small suburb of Hyderabad, King Koti, and went to school in Hyderabad just like any other regular student. So I started off in Little Flower and then I went to HPS. Music in my life, music came in at a very special moment. When I was not doing very well in school. In fact, when I was in 11th class, I was removed from school because I was not studying very well. So at this point, I was looking for something in my life that made sense, something that gave meaning to my life. And at this point, one day I was listening to my father talking to somebody about music, explaining music to somebody, and suddenly something happened, and I understood that this music especially is very magical. Inside of it, it's very magical. My father was my inspiration, is my inspiration, and will be my inspiration. As fathers are, he's not a perfect person, but in terms of what he really intended to convey to me in terms of his love for music, that he did really, really well. We had many pianos in my house. So they were not very nice pianos, but we had 15 pianos in my house. I have many gurus, but they are mostly in Italy and in Germany. So my main teacher, whose name is William Nabore, he lives in Rome, and he was my teacher for many years, still is in many ways my teacher. Yeah. So I moved to Italy. I've actually lived in about 5 countries and studied music for over 15 years intensely. I studied in America, in Belgium, Germany, Italy, so many places, yeah. In the States, the journey, always I think studying music is wonderful, but it's also very challenging. And at the time that I lived in these different countries, was mostly during the time that internet was not available. So the access to information was slow, and as a foreign student abroad, it's always challenging. That's both the difficult part and also the wonderful part about studying abroad, because that actually builds your character and makes you a stronger human being. So for me, it was a great experience. With all the challenges, I really grew as a human being. My very first concert was right here in Hyderabad in 1992. I played a Mozart piano concerto in the first year itself of my life. So that was amazing experience. For me, I did not realize it because I was just so in love with the music. So the experience itself was wonderful playing it. But I mean, for me, I did not realize that it was as big a deal playing a Mozart concerto in the first year. Yeah. Actually, not very many, because most of my life I have spent trying to make my art better. And I am different in the sense that I really like to present things after I have refined them on my own for a long time. So I would say a few hundred concerts for sure, but not like my colleagues who've done thousands of concerts by now. Yeah. My career is actually, in a strange way, starting off right now. I'm here mainly to inspire people with what these ideas are inside of classical music, because classical music inside it has the combination of the intellectual with the emotional, and this combination of the intellectual and emotional is very, very important to understand classical music. So what I realized that today in India, and especially in Hyderabad, people are thinking very much with their minds and maybe a little bit less with their hearts. And what I'd like to do is to bring the balance through music to the same level, both intellectual and emotional. We have an incredible series of concerts coming up, starting on the 2nd of January to the 5th of January at the Westin Hyderabad Mindspace. So 18 musicians from all over the world, 9 countries, will be coming right here to Hyderabad to inspire the audiences with the masterpieces of Beethoven, Mozart, and Chopin. And this year especially, we're really excited because we also have a singer, Lauren Pearl. She's coming from Canada and has an incredible voice. This voice can just really fill the hall on its own without any amplification. Very powerful performance. She will be singing some Mozart and some romantic arias. And we have two soloists. One is from Belgium and the other one's from Italy. Alessandro, who's from Italy, has already been to Hyderabad and given 2 concerts here over the past 2 years. And so he's going to be playing Beethoven. This year marks the 250th birth anniversary of Beethoven. So we are very proud to present Beethoven as a part of our program, Piano Concerto No. 3. And the very first concert, which is a concert not to miss on January 2nd, has an incredible Beethoven string quartet. Just 4 musicians. It's really amazing to see what those 4 musicians can create on the stage with an audience of 400 people. Very powerful music. So we have music from the classical era, the romantic and the baroque, all of them coming together in this program. 2 piano concertos, one by Beethoven, one by Chopin. And we have a few arias sung by Lauren Pearl from Mozart, Puccini and Dvorak. And also we have 2 beautiful symphonic pieces, one by Edvard Grieg, who's a Norwegian composer, and one by Tchaikovsky from Russia. The Grieg-Holberg Suite is what's going to open the orchestral concerts. Very, very special piece. It's like you feel like you're traveling from here to Scandinavia during the winter. The violin, we have Marie Lee, who's from South Korea but has trained in the US, and also Eileen Amtmann from Germany. And the cellists we have are Sarah Rommel from the US and Jonathan Weigler from Germany. And on double bass, we have a very special lady from London, Rosie Moon, a very powerful mind on music and great educator. And as I mentioned, with piano, we have Michel Gourdal and Alessandro Del Giavan. So actually this music is not originally from India. It comes from Europe, from Germany mainly. The reason I'm promoting this is because this music really touched me, and especially touched me at a time in my life when things were difficult. And I felt like I found a friend inside of classical music. I've also noticed that many kids in India today also have a love for the same form of classical music, even though it's not Carnatic and it's not Hindustani. Kids are really, really connecting with this. And I just want them to have the opportunity to pursue it, to listen to concerts, to meet artists, and also be able to study it seriously. So right now, all the new Indians learning music are very young. They are around the age of 10 to 15. At our concerts itself, some kids came to our concerts and they heard this music for the very first time, and they absolutely fell in love with it and decided to start learning music. And within 1 or 2 years, they've already started going to a very high standard. And this is actually possible because of these concerts in Hyderabad. So SOTA is actually an organization to bring classical music to Hyderabad and make it very, very special experience. But the name itself has a very, very interesting meaning behind it. SOTA stands for State of the Art. State of the Art generally means very high standard, excellence and quality, and this pursuit of excellence inside it. But also we have a dual meaning for SOTA, which is state of the arts, such as the state being Telangana, and we want Telangana to be a state that promotes the arts, where arts are really celebrated in our society. So SOTA is wanting to be a part of this conversation about the arts. I am the founder of SOTA because I came from Hyderabad, I love the city, and I want to do something absolutely special and great for the city. And Shruti Kurian, my wife, is also the co-founder along with me. She is formerly international badminton player from India, and she's one of the pioneers during the time that she played for the sport. And as we see today, the sport is thriving very much. So what we'd like to do is also be the pioneers for music, classical music in India. And I think music and sport go very well hand in hand, because in India, those are the 2 subjects that tend to be outside of what people traditionally studied. We are a 2-person team that's really committed and passionate about bringing great music to the city and making it accessible. So January, the 1st of January is a new year, and this is a great way to start the new year, because for 4 days you can really immerse yourself in art and allow that experience to affect the rest of your year. So it's going to be literally a festival. You have 2 concerts, on one on 2nd January, one on 3rd January. And then the following days, because the audience numbers will really go up, we've decided to have 2 concerts per day on the 4th and the 5th. So the first 2 days are extremely special. Chamber music, which means that it's a small ensemble, but we have a surprise in the second half. In the second half, we changed the ensemble size drastically, and we've thrown in a few surprises of who's going to perform on that day. So you'll have to come and find that out for yourself. But it's really going to be like a TED conference, except you don't have speakers. You just have people speaking and singing through their instruments for you.